Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Sweet Lady. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. We're in standard tuning for this song, and the introduction has a few chords that we need to work out, so we'll go through those first. And chord number 1 is an E minor chord, which is an open E string, 2 on the A and D strings, and 0 on the remaining. The second of the 4 chords that we need is a D major, which is an open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. We won't play the E and A strings for the D major chord. The last 2 chords start with C major, 3 on the A, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B and an open E, and miss out the low E string for that. And the final chord for the intro, G major, 3 on the E, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0 on the D, G and B, and then a 3 on the high E. If you're familiar with the G major chord that has a 3 on the B, feel free to use that voicing. It's just 2 different voicings for the same chord. Both will work a treat in this song. So the introduction is going to play through those chords like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically 2 beats for every chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each chord is getting down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Should I say down, down, up, then change to the next chord? For example, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Or if you prefer to count along, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So once we've played through those chords, we're going to stay on a G major chord just before it heads into the first verse. In fact, when the vocals come in for the first verse, it continues with G major. So we have 2 lots around that strumming pattern before we go to this chord here, which is what we call a B7 or B dominant 7, which is 2 on the A, 1 on the D, 2 on the G, 0 on the B, and 2 on the high E string, before going to C major, G, and then back to C. Now this is quite an intricate part, there's lots going on with it, so we're going to break it down. However, it's worth mentioning that if you'd like the chord chart for this song, which has all of the chords with the full structure, as well as another sheet with the chords and lyrics matched up, let's say you're singing along or playing along, and you need to know which chord goes with which lyric, head on over to Patreon, I've got you covered. For the price of a coffee, you get access to not only this song, but close to 600 other songs of all the latest releases. So, more about that later. Let's delve in with this verse, where we go from the G to the B7 using the same strumming pattern that we had earlier. We then do the same for C major. And then in the last bar, just to be a bit awkward, they go from G and then slip in a C at the end. So yeah, a very quick change to C at the end. So what I'm going to do is play through all of those chords without me talking over the top of it to show you how it all fits together for the first verse. At that point, once you've played through it once, you'll actually play it through 4 times altogether for verse 1. We then get into the chorus after that. And the chorus changes things again. So yeah, it might be worth checking out that link to everything on Patreon. Saves you from writing out and potentially making a mistake or trying to memorise it. Because if you're anything like me, I'm terrible at memorising. That's why I have my notes over to one side to help me get through the songs. Anyway, digging in with that chorus, we have very similar part to the introduction with a bit of a difference. We have E minor, D, C, and G. So it is basically like the introduction. However, we're going to play through those chords 3 times in a row. So E minor to D, C to G 3 times. Then on the 4th time, it's almost the same. We have E minor to D. Then play the C. And then it is going to go to G, but the G kind of starts a new bar. So it'll go E minor, 1, 2, D, 4, C, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you move to G, it kind of starts a new bar. It's not at the end of a bar like it is for the previous part. So I'm going to play through that part without me talking. So this is the last time round the chorus. We then get to the second verse, and this is where the good news comes into play. We get a lot of repetition. So looking over to my notes, which is what's available on Patreon, exactly the same for verse 2, just like verse 1. We then have a second chorus. Thankfully, that's the same as the first chorus, even with that extra part at the end where the G comes in early. We then get to the bridge, which starts off with a new chord, A minor. A minor is an open A string. 2, 2 on the D and G, 1 on the B, and an open E. We won't play the low E string for that. We then jump into E minor, G, and D. It continues with A minor, F, and E major. E major, not to be confused with E minor. We get this finger and put it on fret 1 of the G string, and there's E major. So what I'll do is play through that full bridge section because it's a lot of chords, bunch of new chords included, so let's do it all without me talking over the top of it. We then have one final part to the song, which is a chorus. However, there is a key change. That's where the chords have all been shifted up a tone. Now, what we're going to do for this final chorus is play F sharp minor, which is going to be a bar chord, which is fret 2 on the E string, 4, 4 on the A and D, and then the barred finger takes over the bottom 3 strings. And what happens is we go from F sharp minor to E major, then D major, and then an A major chord, which is not to be confused with A minor that we had in the bridge. So those 4 chords, F sharp minor, E major, D major, A major. And A major is an open A string, 2, 2, 2 on the D, G, B, and an open E string. We're going to play those chords round 6 times to get to the end of the song. Do that 6 times, and then you finished the piece. So there we go, that's everything you need to get through this brand new song. Really enjoyed this one actually. Never been a massive fan of this artist before. I think this is the song that's actually swayed me, so yeah, pretty cool. If you're interested in that extra material over on Patreon, links are in the description. In fact, the people scrolling by who are my active patrons, they will get that content straight away. So thanks to them for their support, thanks to you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.